There is a particular modern ritual where someone clears their throat and announces that women couldn't vote in the past because men wanted to oppress them. This is usually followed by a nodding circle of people who look relieved to have arrived at a conclusion that requires no further thinking. History, neatly folded. Everyone can go home. I have always found this explanation a little too tidy, like a hotel room where nothing opens and all the drawers are nailed shut. You can stay there, sure, but it's not where anything actually happened. The older societies, real ones with mud on their boots and bones under their streets, were not abstract moral laboratories. They were machines designed to survive famine, invasion, disease, and neighboring tribes who woke up each morning with the sincere intention of setting your village on fire. Rights, in that context, were less a philosophical inheritance and more a receipt for services rendered. You did a thing, you got a say. You didn't, you didn't. And the biggest entry in that ledger, the one written in ink thick enough to bleed through the page, was war. Men didn't vote because they were more enlightened. They voted because they were liable. Liable to be conscripted, pressed, levied, marched, skewered, trampled, drowned, or left rotting in a ditch in a country whose name they couldn't pronounce. The right to vote wasn't a reward for virtue or wisdom. It was more like a receipt. Congratulations, you might die in a war we started. Here's a say in the decisions that might do it. Women, historically, weren't on that particular hook because war is a brutally physical business, and most women, quite simply, couldn't survive it the way men could. Men, being stronger on average, were the ones expected to march, lift, fight, and die. Societies were optimized for survival. Someone had to stay alive, keep the home running, and raise the next generation. Every child that grew up, every replacement soldier, every future farmer or laborer, it all depended on the women who stayed behind. Men could carry spears and shields, but it was women who carried the species forward. You can call this oppression if you like, but let's be clear who it fell on as well. Men were pressed into war, expected to lift, march, bleed, die, and occasionally told they were heroes for it. Women, for the most part, were spared the battlefield, but they carried the duty and honor of keeping the society alive, bearing and raising the children who would replace the men who didn't come back. Both genders were constrained. Neither side got a say in the ledger. What's interesting is what happens when this arrangement dissolves. As societies grow rich, safe, and abstract, the original logic evaporates. War becomes distant, professionalized, outsourced, or politely disguised as a conflict. Death is managed by committees and televised with graphics. The physical burden no longer maps cleanly onto political responsibility. And once that link is broken, everything starts to float. Decisions become increasingly emotional, symbolic, and reactive because fewer people are personally invested in the consequences at the bodily level. When you don't expect to bleed for a decision, it's easier to make it loudly. History is full of wealthy civilizations that mistook comfort for stability. Rome did it. Late Athens did it. They grew rich, expanded their moral vocabulary, became exquisitely sensitive to insult, and then, rather suddenly, found themselves at war anyway.